We embark on a journey that begins with 3 chefs in search of other up-and-coming chefs in Philadelphia. We exchange ideas with other professionals, revealing their story through their unique cuisine.
Stringi tra i denti quei tuoi pensieri che lisci come l'olio vanno in fondo alla pancia, quelli di ieri, speri non risalgano mai più nella gola, per non dover poi dire mai più quel che pensi a me, che non so più capire te.
Hi, I'm Anna Florio. Welcome to La Cucina at the Market. We're here tonight with Chef Eric Paraskevas, and we're going to be talking about how to prepare lamb.
This is a lamb shank, and this is what Chef Eric has prepared for us today.
Now, me personally, I'm a huge fan of lamb shanks. I am Greek, so I guess I love lamb just to begin with. From a restaurant point of view, it's a good economical cut. I can give people a big portion at a good cost. You just have to have the knowledge to cook these. What I normally do with these is I'll brine them, which is just a salt, water, and then flavoring solution that you let it soak in. Through osmosis helps get a little more salt, a little more flavor into the actual meat. But what I did for the demonstration today was I took these, I took Charles's shanks, and I marinated them in some rosemary, some parsley, some thyme, a little olive oil, and just let it sit overnight to try to get a little herby flavor. So the best way to go about cooking this is to sear it in a hot pan till it's nice and brown. You get a nice caramelization on it, it looks good, it looks pretty, and you braise it properly and get it nice and brown. Then you take that, put it in a big pot, hotel pan, anything that'll fit that with what we call mirepoix, onions, celery, carrots, little bay leaves, little peppercorn, and then a little pre-made veg stock. Then you slowly cook it for 4 hours or so, depending on the size. It's all about the size. Something like this, you probably need to cook for about 4 hours. 350-ish. If you want to rush it, you could do it at 500, but I like to slow cook it and let it have its time. You know it's done when you push on it and it will like fall apart. Like you can't, this is not moving anywhere, you know? It'll be fork tender. Then you know it's done. So you take it out of the oven, you let it sit. I like to let things sit in the actual liquid, cool down for a little bit in the liquids, because I feel like it helps give a little flavor back into it. You let it sit for a little, half hour, you take it out. Now, depending on what you're gonna do with it, denotes what to do next. Like if you're gonna serve it, like at the restaurant, I serve it whole, so I leave it whole. I let it cool down. I let it cool down separately, because if they touch when they're cooling down, they'll stick together, and then when you try to break them apart, you rip the meat and you take away your look. I'm gonna show you, how to sear it. You season it all over. So a little pepper. Then we're gonna take these nice Teflon pans. Now whenever you sear something, there's a proper way to do it. You get your pan really hot. I think you need to use a good bit of oil, especially something like this. It has contours in it, but you want enough to get in all the little crevices. You want to brown all of the meat. Now you should see little whiffs of smoke, steam, whatever you want to call it, coming off of there. That's how you know it's hot. That's how you know it's ready. So you want to take your lamb, stick it in the pan. You hear it sizzle. If you're not hearing that sizzle, it means you're stewing. And stewing is not searing. The same thing will happen if you overcrowd your pan. You wouldn't be able to sear properly. Now you see what I'm doing? The one side is seared. It's got a nice little color on it. I'm rotating it because I want to sear all sides. I want the whole thing to be nice and brown.
What is the purpose of doing that?
It adds a little flavor. It deepens the flavor of the meat. And some people say it sears in the juices, but in this application that's not important because I'm braising it for hours anyways. But it's just to help give it a little deeper flavor. I think it's technically called the Maillard reaction. And then we're just gonna keep turning it until all sides are done. By all sides, I mean this side, this side, this side, this side, the side it's on.
So you're just trying to sear it and even coat on all sides?
Yes, yes ma'am. See, it doesn't want to stay up, but you want to sear that side as well. It's all going to add to the flavor. The more, and it's in good cooking, it's all about the little things. It's about doing the little things right. If you don't do the little things, the big things don't turn out the same. And that's going to separate. That's what makes Tinto great and like your random joint not so good. I use a blended oil, blend of like vegetable oil with like a 90-10% vegetable to olive. You want to use a bland, flavorless oil. It's not too important as to what kind you use, but you wouldn't want to use olive oil. It's got a low smoky point and you don't want that flavor. You wouldn't want to use sesame oil. You wouldn't want to use peanut oil because maybe someone has allergies first of all, and unless you want that flavor profile in your product, you want to stick with a neutral flavored oil. And you can see that's pretty much, you know, that's pretty seared, you know? So then you would take this, stick it in a big pot such as this, or something that you could fit in the oven. Put a little, I put a little, you know, black pepper, little onion, little celery, carrots, peppercorns, bay leaves, and little tomato paste, and veg stock. And I'll let that cook forever. Let it cook, you know, till when you do that, it falls apart. This is a good economical cut. Like he said, it's about $5 a pound or something like that, and you can make it, you can stretch it even more. What I did was I took this, I braised it, and I made a stew out of it. I took the meat apart, shredded all the meat, and I made a stew out of that and the leftover liquid, the stock from cooking it. And that's what I have in this all-clad pan. I took off some of the, I took the meat and I cooked it with some potatoes, some carrots, some Brussels sprouts, some mushrooms. I think that's it. The great thing about a stew is you can do anything you want with it. You can put anything you want in it. If you want, you know, red onion instead of, you know, carrots or something.
Now, same as a mirepoix, could you intercept the carrots with parsnips?
And you wouldn't want to.
You would want to?
No, you like something like a parsnip. You'd want to eat the parsnip. In the mirepoix, you're not saving that to eat it, so you wouldn't want to waste that. You want to, like, a parsnip is good on its own. You know, you want to eat that.
Okay.
So I'm going to show you guys how, you know, I serve this up today. So after you do this, you put it in the oven with the mirepoix. You take that out, you strain the liquid off. You don't use that mirepoix, and then you start with fresh vegetables. When you cook something, as long as you have to cook that, the vegetables are going to turn mushy and just be not a good texture. You don't want rawness, but you don't want mush. You don't want the thing to just fall apart. So I made a little stew. And then to show a little new schoolness, I made some Parmesan biscuits and I made a rosemary foam. Float a little biscuit in there. Now this mixture here, I took parsley, blended it with water, and methocellulose. It's a chemical additive that they've been using in commercial industries for a long time that now chefs are learning to be creative with and make things such as foams, different gelling agents, hot panna cottas, hot ice creams. So what you do is you take something like an Aero latte or even like a whisk if you could do it quick enough, and you create little bubbles. With the methocellulose, it should hold its shape. I'm making nice little rosemary bubbles. Pull that off. Put that right on top. Now this shows you a good, pretty cheap, economical way to use lamb, to stretch it out. Especially nowadays, you know, everyone's worried about price. This whole pot, it was like, I'd say like $50, this whole pot. And this will last for a long, you know, it'll feed a lot of people. And at a restaurant, you can charge a lot of money for it. This is something I would do at Terra restaurant, where I am the executive chef. We're at 243 South Camac Street in Center City, Philadelphia. Shameless plug. You can check us out, terrapa.com is our website. I have a Blithering Idiot braised lamb shank on my menu, which is, because Blithering Idiot is an ale, it's a barley wine style ale that I love. And I think it's absolutely delicious. And I love beer and meat. I think it's a great combination. The Stouts guy had it right.
So I'm Anna Florio. Thanks for joining us at La Cucina at the Market with Chef Eric Paraskevas from Terra Restaurant in Philadelphia and Charles Junter from Junter's Prime Shop in the Reading Terminal Market.
Mai più nella gola per non dover poi dire mai più quel che pensi a me che non so più capire.